What's up, guys? If you are into music reaction channels that are honest, raw, and authentic, look no further. You found your destination. It is the Tazzz and Philly Show. Welcome to our journey.
And make sure that you subscribe below and enjoy the show.
What is good, you sexy son of a guns? It is Philly. That is Tazzz. It's the Tazzz and Philly Show, and we are back with another reaction video. What is up, YouTube? What is up, Nightwish fans? What is up, Fantastics? Welcome back, Nightwish Army. Thank you guys for being here. We are going in a slightly different direction tonight. We are doing a reaction interview with Tuomas and Marco behind the scenes. Not 100% sure what the interview is completely about, but whatever it is, I don't know if it's, kind of behind the scenes on maybe how they create music or what their life is just like in the band. I don't know. It could go in any different direction, but I'm hyped to see it because I want to see what they're like off stage. Any information that we can get will be new information and cool information, and I'm sure it's gonna be nice to see another side of them. So, I mean, Tazzz, feel free to give your thoughts on it, but I'm excited to get into it. Again, it's Tuomas and Marco behind the scenes, Nightwish.
Yeah, and we want to really thank you because if you're watching this video, that means you were kind enough to pay one of our membership tiers. So thank you so much for that.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, this is exclusively for you. It's not free on our regular open channel. So thank you for that. So I'm very excited, like Philly said, because I've never heard Tuomas talk. I've just seen him play. And Marco, I love his singing voice, but I never heard him not singing. So both of them is going to be a treat. And we like to see behind the scenes of certain things, like what they're all about. So I don't know officially what it is. I just know it's behind the scenes. So without further ado, let's get this started to our Nightwish reaction interview.
Let's do it.
Yep. All right.
You have to hit play.
Hold on, I hit the wrong thing. There we go.
Good gracious.
Real and authentic. I like your dog.
Hello guys, welcome to Petrax Studios, Hollana, Finland. Here we are at the studio kitchen. Kitchen is, well, you know what we do here. There's some coffee table stuff and some stuff for the sound engineer Mikko, who's in the grip of a flu. So some blackberry juice and rum, which is good for him, I hope. I already had myself a cup of tea. Here's the control room and my bandmate Tuomas, who still hopes there's something interesting in the internet. We all know that there is nothing.
Here's my little baby, Korg Oasis. I already used this for the previous album, Dark Passion Play. I will use a lot of it for Imaginarium as well. Here we have the mixing console, just about to start with the third song. This is probably the space that we spent most time in for the next 3 weeks at least. It was back in 2007 when we got the Dark Passion Play album finished. I started to think what would be the next thing to do, because the music of Nightwish in itself had already gotten so big and diverse that I thought that, we have walked till the end of this particular path. Now it's time to do something
This is before
bit different.
Floor.
That really took the budget out of proportion once again. So that'll be the major catch of this upcoming release, that we're actually doing this music fantasy film at the same time. Here we have the space where the magic of singing happens.
That's where I usually stand. I do my vocals usually wearing my Batman suit, but then you wouldn't know who I am, so I left it for the occasion.
Yeah. And then my personal little kingdom here. The thing with each album that we do is that you want to try some new territories with the music. And for example, on the last album we used a gospel choir, something that we hadn't done before. And for this album there will be, for instance, a kids choir, a children's choir that we haven't done before.
In order to use all those things, you kind of have to figure out, okay, this piece of music actually would become better if you find some interesting sounds and interesting instruments which will complement the whole song and the sound.
Absolutely, that's the most important thing. I mean, we're not using the orchestra or choir or these special instruments because it's cool, so to say. We use it because it brings these certain songs alive.
Even though cool is a nice bonus.
Sure. What we're doing is kind of like introducing a whole new way of storytelling, which means that you actually hear almost the whole album of Imaginarium throughout the movie. And there's a lot of dialogue, but it's basically in between the songs and sometimes on top of the songs. So it's kind of like a hybrid of The Wall by Pink Floyd and Sweeney Todd, Moulin
Pink
Rouge,
Floyd.
and Fantasia of Disney. So it's actually the music which is telling the story, but there are still real actors and a lot of dialogue.
Calm down.
It's not so much about the place or time. Probably the most important thing for me as a songwriter is that I need time. I need my peace and solitude. So like the original ideas for the storylines and the songs, they can emerge anywhere. But to actually make the song from beginning to the end, to compile all the pieces together, I need a few weeks of privacy, so to say. So
Wow.
I couldn't imagine doing a whole song in the back of a tour bus. Kaksi-viivaseen E menee parhaimmillaan.
Niin, täytyy muistaa, että meidän vireessä D:ssä.
Ja kun me laski se siihen.
Niin,
siis
joo,
oikeesti.
Niin.
Ja just se. Ja sit se menee fissään sillä modulaatiossa.
Joo.
Ihanaa, kaunista.
Ever since I started study studio engineering, started to do studio engineering as a work in the end of 80s, start of 90s, the one constant thing in my very on and off career as a studio engineer has been speakers, because I find them to be unrivaled, the way they deliver, for instance, low ends with the clarity that you need and all the crispiness and everything that's there in the soundscape. What we have here behind is Genelec 8240 model, which is a DSP speaker. And if you have a laptop, you have a program, you have a small interface box, and then you have a microphone, which you actually hook up with the speakers. And the microphone measures the room and the sound and the acoustic properties of it, and then adjusts the speakers and then also saves the settings. You can take these babies out from this nice, cozy, roomy control room and take them into some, for instance, into your cellar to record some drums, and there you have some toilet where you actually sitting there with the earphones on or with the speakers in front of you, and you actually measure the acoustical dimensions and properties again, and then you have the optimal sound for that room in order to listen to the speakers, and that's really handy when you're doing this kind of mobile stuff.
I always thought that music business was complicated, and now I have gotten a glimpse of movie business, and you haven't seen anything. So just hope for the best.
Oh, that was so cool.
Yep, was. That's kind of what I was hoping it was going to be, like a little back, story to how their creative process and how they come up with some of their music and compose it. I mean, shit, that was in the music studio, showed you some of the cool instruments they use and how they go through the different, programs that they use to create the music. And he said it, so I didn't have to. But the first thing that I thought about
Ugh.
when he talked about creating a storybook or a movie where the music paints the story and the movie picture, that is Pink Floyd to a T, because that's exactly what their music is. It tells a story. And you might have to listen to it in order to understand it more, which is fine. But that is exactly, and I'll bet you in some degrees, they are somewhat influenced by Pink Floyd. That has to be, because it's the concept.
Ugh.
I bet you. Somebody will tell us. I bet you I'm not wrong.
Well, he also said, sir. He also said in Sweeney Todd and Fantasia from Disney.
That's
So,
fun. Oh no, well, yeah, because he has a lot of movie themed sounding like sounds that he uses. But my point is the storybook aspect of it, where the music tells a story, is not. It is that's Pink Floyd. They came out, long time ago. I'm not saying that their music sounds like Pink Floyd's, but I'm saying there is some kind of a influence or some kind of a connectiveness there. That's all. But I thought it was very, very cool, man. I really did.
Yeah, that was really, really. I mean, I love hearing their voices. Like, we've never heard Tuomas, period. So it was cool to hear what he sounds like. And since he's the mastermind, from everybody, the Nightwish fans telling us that he's the mastermind to making the songs. Like, hearing him saying how he sometimes has to go away in solitude for like a few weeks or a couple weeks to do the song. Like, that is just like, wow. I mean, I totally get how he could. It's hard to. I can imagine hard to do a whole album on the back of a tour bus. But the whole like 2 weeks like in solitude, like, wow. I mean, that's, first of all, that's dedication. And like, okay, hey, if that's what he needs to do, because like I know writers, like professional writers, sometimes have like cabins, let's say, that they go to when they're writing a book where they need solitude. So it totally makes sense. But to actually hear it, that's somebody who takes pride in their craft. Like, they don't just, I mean, hey, no, let me take that back. There's some people who have the ability, something might spark in their brain, and they might be able to write an entire song, let's say in 15 minutes. I know some singers have said that they have done that, but that's a song. He's talking about like the whole album or the whole concert or whatever they're getting ready for. So like, to go in solitude, just dedicate yourself. That's really cool. So it was nice to hear the mastermind behind Nightwish actually talking and playing the piano. He's a great pianist, because that just really sounded nice. He was just doing like it was nothing. And then hearing Marco just talk normally without singing or growling, they really seem like, Marco seems like really cool that I could like hang out with him and we could just like crack jokes or whatever. Because he made me hear a little comedy in his personality when Tuomas had said that they don't get like a children's choir because it's cool. They get it to like add depth or whatever to the song. And then Marco was like, but it's still good to make it cool. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I like how he has that. So, but that also shows, back to Tuomas real quick, his testament to how he takes pride in the music. Like, they're not just looking for things that's cool or necessarily, let's say, trending, but just like, oh, this would really add depth and liveliness to the song.
Yeah,
So
they
let's
try
do it.
things.
Yeah, so I like that approach. That's a good approach to have, not just, oh, this sounds cool or whatever. But anyway, yeah, I liked it. So I'm glad that you liked it too, Philly. We're starting to do reaction interviews. This is going to be our third. But so far, 3 out of 3. I think you'll agree. 3 out of 3. We did Ren and we did Ginger, and now we've done Nightwish, and it's really entertaining to see how these musicians are away from the microphone, so to speak, and singing, that is. So yeah, I forget. It's been a while. We don't do ass or passes on interviews, right? Okay.
Nope, no ask or pass. Just giving our
Yeah.
thoughts, and I thought it's essentially what I was hoping for, a little insight into how they make their music, their process. It was cool to see the studio, some of the instruments, all that stuff. I thought it was great, and look forward to hearing more. We know the requests are coming. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. You can expect more of these reaction interviews to come in the future, and also a lot more Nightwish reaction to their music. So I guess you have anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, closes out there, best friend.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, I am Philly. That is Tazzz. This was a Nightwish reaction interview behind the scenes with Tuomas and Marco. Thank you guys for watching it with us. We'll see you soon. Have a great night. Peace.
And take it easy and keep it breezy.